I guarantee I can make you better at Rocket League. Well, okay, maybe not guarantee, because if you play like this guy, I don't know if there's a lot that I can do to help you out. Yes, this is still going. But if you're a relatively new player in this game, it's actually pretty hard to find stuff that you can use. A lot of it is double taps and mechanics and aerials and musty flicks. It's not stuff that is really going to help you learn the game. Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? So I set out on a journey to help fix that. I recruited players from Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Champ, and even Grand Champ to send me replays of their games without teammates. This would ensure that all the players in the game are of the same rank, and we can get a fair assessment of the rank itself and how the game is played. From there, with film cut-ups and analysis, I'll be able to talk through a bunch of different positions, what's the ideal play in certain scenarios, and just generally talk more about the game sense portion of Rocket League. I am so confident this series is going to make your game better that I'm willing to analyze videos of your games and even provide one-on-one coaching if this doesn't help you. So with that, let's get to our first topic. Faceoffs are obviously an important part of the game because they happen in every game and it's how the play begins. Everyone has slightly different ideas when it comes to faceoffs, but pros and high-level players generally follow 3 key ideas. The first idea is that the player closest to the ball is going to go for the faceoff. In the event of a tie, the player on the left side is going to be the one who goes. The second idea is there must be a player directly behind the faceoff challenger in the event the faceoff is lost. More on this position in a second. And the third player is reading the faceoff and ready to create offense depending on where the ball goes on a slow faceoff. So all together, it'll look something like this. So this is the player going for the faceoff, this is the player going for the corner boost behind the faceoff, and this is our slow challenger. Notice how if our faceoff is lost, our second player is immediately ready to grab boost and create offense. That's the goal. Even at the absolute highest level of competitive play, that's exactly what both teams decide to do is the optimal strategy for handling their kickoff. So hopefully that can help you avoid situations like this. And if you're a really visual learner like me, here's a Tecmo Bowl style screenshot of all the different kickoff scenarios that you may come across. Notice how the main idea is always the same. The closest player to the ball goes, and if it's a tie, the player on the left goes. There's always someone directly to the back of the person challenging the faceoff, and in the event that faceoff is lost, there's always a slow creep player. The only nuance is the kickoff in the top right of your screen where everyone is bunched together. The creeper and the person behind the faceoff ends up being the same player because it's a more direct line to the ball instead of on an angle, and the third player in this case just grabs boost to the right. Having boost is one of the most critical components of Rocket League. Oftentimes it can be the difference between scoring and getting scored on. So how do we navigate that as a player? Well, let's start with where the boost is on the field. To start, there are 6 100 boosts, which fill you to full, and 28 12 boost pads on the field. The 100 boosts respawn every 10 seconds, and the 12 boost pads respawn every 4 seconds. Also notice the visual lines on the field created by the boost pads. There are essentially 5 vertical lines going up and down the field for boost, and several diagonal and horizontal lines. These boost paths can be important to know when you rotate or when you're trying to get into position. What you'll often find as a lower ranked player is you'll have too great of a desire to constantly play the ball with not as much concern about repositioning and collecting boost. Notice here how we're always staying in the play, but we're never really threatening anything because we don't have any speed. Do this long enough, and eventually a faster player will make you pay for it. Notice how at the higher levels, though, that's not the case. A player will make their challenge, but often rotate out, sometimes not even facing the ball. That way, when it is their opportunity to come back in, they have boost, they have power, and they can capitalize. Rotation is definitely something we're going to be spending a lot of time on in later videos, but for now, if you're a lower ranked player, focus on making your challenge, going back and finding boost, so in that way, when it is your turn to hit the ball, you've got power and you're ready. The last piece of advice to leave you with is if you are a lower ranked player, hop into training mode and finish these tutorial intro packs on training. Yes, you're not above it. Practice hitting the ball in the air, practice making saves, and practice shooting. Working on your mechanics is important. You don't want to look like this. but you probably will anyway.